The premium ANC headphone market is really heating up. So much so, Microsoft jumped in with their new Surface headphones, Jabra announced their new Elite 85Hs at CES 2019, and most recently, it's even rumored that Sonos is working on a pair of premium ANC headphones. But as of right now, I think the Sony 1000XM3s are currently the best ANC headphones on the market right now. But I know dropping $350 on a pair of ANC headphones is a lot for some people. So today we're going to be comparing my top 3 favorite sub $200 ANC headphones as of Q1 2019. We have the Sony WH-CH700N, the Sennheiser 4.50 BTNCs, and the Audio-Technica SR50BTs, or as I call them, the SR50s. Now, I like and have no problem recommending either of these headphones, but they all have their own pros and cons. But I think this video is going to be pretty interesting because instead of me crapping on one pair of specific headphones, we're going to be comparing and contrasting 3 pairs of headphones that I genuinely like for different reasons. Before I started using NordVPN, I would never use public Wi-Fi because I didn't want to risk having my data exposed. Which meant anytime I traveled or was in a dead zone in the city, I would have little to no internet on my phone. But now with NordVPN's military-grade encryption, I can use public Wi-Fi and know that my data is safe from would-be hackers. NordVPN can do a lot more, but this is one of the main reasons I use them. See how you can enjoy 3 years of online security for only $2.99 a month by clicking on the link in the description down below. Like I said, these are my top 3 favorite sub $200 ANC headphones. The Sennheiser 4.50 BTNCs have a retail price of $179.99, whereas both the Sony WH-CH700N and Audio-Technica ATH-SR50BTs have a retail price of $199.99. If you want to pick either of these headphones up, I'll have links in the description down below, and I suggest you check them out because you never know when they might go on sale, so you might get lucky. Okay, first let's get the simple stuff out the way here, and that's the included accessories and ports. The Audio-Technica SR50s come included with a faux leather carrying pouch that I think looks a little classy, whereas the Sennheisers come included with a polyester softshell carrying case, which I'm not a big fan of, but at least they come with something, because unfortunately the Sony WH-700N don't even come included with a carrying pouch or case. But still, if you plan on traveling with either of these headphones, I highly recommend you invest in a hardshell carrying case. Cable-wise, all of these headphones come included with a micro USB cable for charging. Even though it's 2019, if you want USB-C charging on your headphones, you're gonna have to spring for more expensive headphones like the 1000XM3s or Surface headphones, cause USB-C still hasn't made its way down to cheaper headphones just yet. And both the SR50s and WH-CH700N come included with a decent 3.5 to 3.5mm audio cable. But just a heads up, the Sennheiser uses a 2.5mm audio jack instead. But now, let's talk about build quality, because it's one of the main reasons I like the Sennheisers and SR50s so much, and it's one of the Sony WH-CH700N's weak points. Sony has done a great job of packing in a lot of features into the WH-CH700N, but I guess they had to compromise on build quality. When you flex the headband, there's a good amount of cracking and squeaking. It's not overly excessive like some other sub $200 headphones I've tested, but I would definitely take it easy with these headphones. I mean, they're not going to fall apart on you, but their build quality pales in comparison to both the Sennheisers and SR50s. When you flex the headband or extend the headband on the SR50s, they're almost silent. Tolerances on the body panels are very tight, and if you squint, they even resemble the 1000XM3s. But what makes the SR50s special is that they can either be laid down flat or fold up, whereas the Sonys can only be laid down flat and the Sennheisers can only be folded up. But I think the best build quality award here goes to the Sennheisers. Just like the SR50s, if you flex the headband, it's basically silent and all of the body panels are exactly where they need to be. But what makes the Sennheisers stand out here is that they're built like a tank. If you're looking for a pair of headphones that you can throw around and not worry about, then the Sennheisers are the way to go. But when it comes to fit, the Sennheisers are objectively the least comfortable headphones here. Now, all 3 of these headphones are big head approved, but both the Sennheisers and Sonys have a snug fit. They're not uncomfortable, but you'll never forget they're there. But the main reason the Sennheisers are the least comfortable headphones here is because of their ear cups. They're a little cramped compared to the other ear cups here, and they're only suitable for people with smaller fleshed ears. Whereas the Sonys have the most spacious ear cups here. They're actually more spacious than the ear cups on the 1000XM3. But the most comfortable word here has to go to the SR50s. The ear cups on the SR50s are almost as spacious as the ear cups on the WH-CH700N. But the main reason the SR50s are the most comfortable headphones here is because they have very little clamping force, like the Sony 1000XM3 and Bose QC35. And since the SR50s have very little clamping force, they're great for long use sessions, and unlike the other headphones here, you'll forget you even have them on. Now when it comes to battery life, both the Sennheisers and SR50s perform relatively the same. The Sennheisers have an advertised battery life of 25 hours, and the SR50s have an advertised battery life of 28 hours. Overall, I found that they're both good for about a week and a half in between charges for the way that I use them. But the Sony WH-CH700N have an advertised battery life of 35 hours, which is way above average, and these are good for about 2 weeks in between charges. And when it comes to Bluetooth connectivity, all of these headphones have stable connections that don't cut out, as they should. But unfortunately, all of these headphones can only be connected to one device at a time, so you can't hot swap from one device to another as seamlessly as the AirPods, the Surface headphones, or the Bose QC35s. And it's my hope that in 2019, newer headphones will have multi-device connectivity support, because it's kind of ridiculous that it's 2019 and it's still not a standard feature. But I also want to point out that the WH-CH700Ns do have a bit of latency when watching YouTube videos on an iPhone, whereas the other two headphones don't. But that latency does go away. But that latency does go away if you're going to watch Netflix on an iPhone. But if you use these headphones with an Android device, then they don't suffer from any latency issues. Now, regarding active noise cancellation on all of these headphones, I just want to set expectations first. No matter what anybody else tells you, for right now, the active noise cancellation on sub $200 ANC headphones is going to be nowhere near as good as the active noise cancellation found on more premium ANC headphones. And just so you can see for yourself, we're going to jump into an ANC test.
Noise reduction. Noise reduction.
So, like I said, the active noise cancellation on the sub $200 headphones is nowhere near as effective as the ANC on the 1000XM3, and that's perfectly fine. But there are other metrics to consider when judging the ANC on any pair of headphones. For starters, all of these headphones have very little cabin pressure when ANC is turned on, which is good to see because some other headphones out there might cause some discomfort on your eardrums, which honestly is just annoying. And these headphones also have very little hissing with ANC turned on, which is a common issue with other headphones with crappy ANC. So overall, even though these headphones don't block out as much noise as more premium headphones, their ANC can be useful to block out some constant low frequency sounds like road noise, and if you're in an already quiet place like an office or a library, they can block out the constant rumbling of an AC unit or a little bit of chatter. And they do so without causing any added discomfort, which is the most important thing to keep in mind. Now, when it comes to sound quality, all of these headphones perform well in the sense that their bass never bottoms out, they have good clarity, and the highs never get tinny. You see, with some other ANC headphones out there, if you use them with their ANC turned on, their soundstage gets narrowed and/or their bass starts to bottom out more frequently when the bass really gets going. But in general, if you want to get the best sound quality out of your ANC headphones, it's best to use them with ANC turned off. But when it comes to sound signatures, both both the Sennheisers and SUR50s have a neutral sound signature, but I do think the SUR50s have better clarity and detail than the Sennheisers. But if you're looking for a pair of headphones that have more kick in their bass, then you'll want to look into the WH-CH700N. The WH-CH700N are the only headphones here whose app allows you to directly adjust your EQ, so you can make them sound however you want depending on the type of music you listen to. But no matter how much you play around with the EQ, their clarity and detail isn't going to be as good as the other two headphones here. So if I had to rank these headphones from best to worst sound quality wise, it would go first place SUR50s, second goes to the Sennheisers, and third would go to the WH-CH700N. But now let's talk about bonus features. Unfortunately, the Sennheisers are going to have to sit this one out because besides ANC, they don't have any other features to showcase. Besides good build quality, a comfortable fit, and good sound, one of the other reasons the SUR50s made it onto my current top 3 list is because they are one of the only sub $200 ANC headphones out there that feature both an ambient mode and quick attention mode, just like the 1000 XM3s. The SUR50s have a feature called hear through, where they'll pump in some of the ambient sound around you so you can still hear what's going on when you have your headphones on. This feature is useful if you're walking around the city or if you work in an office, you can still hear when someone calls your name. The SUR50s also have quick hear through, where if you press the only physical button on the left ear cup, your headphones will mute your music and pump in all of the ambient sound around you, like this. And I really like when headphones have this feature because you can talk to someone without having to take off your headphones. Because unfortunately, even though the WH-700N are the 1000 XM3's little brothers, they don't have an ambient mode or quick attention mode. They do, however, have Google Assistant integration.
It's 3:31 p.m. You don't have new notifications right now.
Turn on the studio lights, and what is the current temperature in New York City?
The current temperature in New York City is 34. Sure, turning on 2 lights.
And as voice assistants continue to get better and get integrated into our daily lives, more and more headphones are going to have direct voice assistant integration. So it's cool to see that the WH-700N already has this. So, we're at the tail end of this video, and I'm willing to bet that a good chunk of people watching this might be considering getting the SUR50s. I mean, like I said, they have good build quality, they're very comfortable, they sound great, and they have very useful extra features. But they do have one glaring issue, and that's their touchpad. The SUR50s have a touchpad on the left ear cup to control your music playback. But unfortunately, as a righty, this touchpad is very hard to use even after a few weeks, and it's not the most accurate touchpad out there. So whenever I use the SUR50s, I just find myself using my phone to control my music playback. So the SUR50s do lose a bit of points when it comes to convenience. Whereas both the Sonys and Sennheisers have a dedicated volume rocker and a switch, so you can easily scrub through your music all while keeping your phone in your pocket. But I do prefer Sony's media control buttons over the Sennheisers because they're larger and easier to tell apart. So overall, like I said at the beginning of this video, I like and have no problem recommending either of these headphones. But if it wasn't for the SUR50's crappy touch controls on their left ear cup, they would be hands down my #1 and most recommended sub $200 ANC headphones. So I would only recommend getting the Audio-Technica ATH-SR50BTs if you're willing to compromise on those touch controls or learn how to live with them. But other than that, I love these $200 headphones. If you're looking for a pair of headphones with more spacious ear cups or an adjustable EQ, then the Sony WH-700N are a good option too. And finally, there's the Sennheiser HD 4.50 BTNCs. Just like the Audio-Technicas, they sound great, but they're definitely not for people with larger ears. But if you're looking for a pair of good-looking rugged headphones, then they're a good option too. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit that like button and get subscribed. It helps out more than you realize. If you want to pick any of the products up mentioned in this video, those will be linked in the description down below, and you can also support the channel by checking out the merch store. But other than that, I'll catch you next time.